Good morning. Welcome to Books at the Bottom of the Stairs. My name's Lorene. I kid you not, I put the button for record on and didn't the noise outside start? It's not too bad. Maybe they're just cleaning up after themselves, but the city is replacing all the telephone poles in the neighborhood, and it's been quite a week. House has been rattling, but what's even crazier is the cutlery in the drawers has been rattling. And that's because we've got sort of slate bedrock, and it's not it's not solid or anything. It's always shifting. So the tremors have been impressive. Well, I'm talking to you today about Middle Mystery March. I made that up. It's Mystery Madness March for a lot of people, and it's middle grade reader for a lot of people. And I mentioned last time I combined them and didn't read any of the mysteries that I got. They're all sitting right here. It turned out one of the mysteries I had already read, the one by Kevin Sand, and quickly returned. But what I did read, still with respect to middle grade March, was Hope in the Holler by Lisa Lewis Tyre. Now, this is an American writer, and she's writing about the communities in the it seems to be the Appalachians. It's certainly a mountainous area. It could be the Carolinas. I don't think she really specifies. I don't remember seeing a state mentioned in here. But what we have is a little girl, Wavy, whose mom has passed away from cancer. And this has been part of Wavy and her mom's story since the beginning, because she was diagnosed with cancer at the same time she was discovered to be pregnant. And Wavy's mom had made an effort to have Wavy adopted out, but then the birth father started to get involved, and she didn't want to have anything to do with the birth father, bad family background, and so Wavy's mom took off. And the adoption process became disrupted. And Wavy's mom raised her herself, and eventually died. So we know we don't know all the backstory that I just told you, but we know that Wavy's mom has passed away right at the beginning of the book. So what happens is Wavy, of course, has to be found a home. She's only 11, and she ends up back where her mom began. It's a beautiful setting, and the family is, less than salubrious, bitchy, mean, grasping, shallow-minded, shallow-hearted people. The neighbors have got more sympathy and make more effort to welcome Wavy than her own family does. And this is the dilemma that Wavy is confronting. It's a short book. It's really, really well written. The characters are really quite fun, especially the neighbors. The sort of bad family is, pretty much what you would expect from a bad family. And I would say that Wavy is kind of a fun little character too. I don't think this is an amazing version of this kind of a story. I think Richard Peck maybe writes a crisper version of it, and there are other authors that I have read that this kind of orphan child back to the country, newfound family kind of scenario has been written before. It seems to be a very American theme. I can't remember having read that many Canadian stories like that recently, and so it's nice. It's a nice story. I recommend it. I would give it about a 3.5 out of 5, and I just don't think you can go wrong with this story. I don't think there's anything to complain about, really. Now this one, The Swifts, A Dictionary of Scoundrels, is written by Beth Lincoln and illustrated by Claire Powell. Now, this is a mystery, but it's not Canadian, and I just added that Canadian part in. It has nothing to do with anybody else. I love this. This is a 5 out of 5 for me. I totally enjoyed it. And the artwork, while I'm talking, I'll try and find a really good artwork one. Here we go. This is everybody shouting at everybody. We've got 3 sisters who live with their aunt, and everybody's name is chosen from this dictionary. So aunt is Aunt Schadenfreude. It's a German dictionary. And the girls are Shenanigan, who's our main protagonist, and Phenomena, who is a scientist, and Felicity, who does not have quite the same gravitas in her name, because Felicity is considered to be almost a normal name, and Felicity is very much interested in fashion and sort of the fashion industry as much as fashion design. So, and Shenanigan is mostly just interested in being impulsive and creative and curious and not bound by too many rules. They are schooled at home. There is a family member who's not actually a blood family member, but her name is Cook. That's not like her birth certificate name, but she's more than the cook. And it's time for the family reunion, and the last name is Swift for everybody. So all the Swifts show up at this great big mansion, and it turns out that the matriarch, who's Aunt Schadenfreude, has decided that she wants to pass the reins on to the next matriarch or patriarch, and she will name someone, as well as there's been for generations and generations a hidden hoard of treasure from the original Swift. And so the reunion is sort of a time for grievances to be aired and solved, and for everybody to do the treasure hunting, and sometimes every 30, 40 years for someone else to become named the patriarch or matriarch. And Aunt Schadenfreude has been, I don't know why she's particularly interested in this, but every month the family practices her funeral procession. And there's absolutely no indicators that she's got anywhere to go, but this is one of the family fun events. And so, the small family. So someone pushes Aunt Schadenfreude down the stairs, and you can see in the picture on the cover, those are her toes. And so she's not dead, but she's injured. And then everybody is all in a dither and in a flap. And was she pushed on purpose, or did she fall by accident? And then someone else turns up dead. And then, was that an accident? And then there's someone else who's like, geez, was that an accident? And so it's very complicated in the terms of what constitutes an accident and what constitutes an actual murderer, and is there a murderer in the midst, and who could it be? And of course there's all sorts of red herrings and diversions, and there's a garden maze, and there's in the house that's been built over the centuries, there are hidden passages and trapdoors and laundry chutes and chimneys with stairs. Oh, it's just a great big fun house. So the kids in particular are having a good old time with both sleuthing for who might be the murderer, as well as trying to find the hoard. And Shenanigan is like, hard on the trail of both things. So Shenanigan is running the investigation, as it were. There's an uncle who considers himself to be a detective. He's in on it. And so it's just a wonderful little mystery, because there are all kinds of outcomes that you don't begin to expect, and very logical, makes complete sense as to who in the end was the actual bad doer. So I think it was a really strong story. It had a lot of energy to it. There's a lot of great language, because the dictionary being the name source for everything, the vocabulary and the writing style in here is not simple. I think that the story itself is very, very appealing to any age in the middle grade spectrum, but the writing style might put it with a good reader. It's not a simple, easy step-in reader. Because sometimes kids can take a little while to kind of really smooth things out. This one's a little easier. The vocabulary and the dialogue there's a bit more dialogue than there is description. So this is probably a little better for a reader who's either on the young spectrum or is still gaining vocabulary and reading skills. And this one is definitely for a confident reader. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I have, this is a debut novel too. So I have this author on my, keep in mind list for the future. Yeah, so good on her. It was good. Very, very good. All right, the other things that I have on my to-do list, really, to talk to you about is I'm going to Toronto on next week, Tuesday. So I'm going to try, my game plan is to pre-film a video and edit it. Why am I telling you this? You don't need to know. But to launch it from Ontario, and I don't know how good that's going to be because I'm just not the most technical savvy. So I'm thinking that I can pre-edit the whole thing and just have it in the queue and then hit send. I mean, other people seem to be able to do that, so here's hoping. So I have other things to talk to you about, but today's dilemma is, what do I take to Toronto? And I don't know about you guys, but I so much struggle on travel books. Last summer there was a bunch of people talking about what do you take when you travel, or what kind do you take when you travel. And I cannot stand the ebooks. The computer screen, everything. I know that there are other devices that are kinder on the eyes, but it triggers a headache over and over and over again. So I'm in the middle of a book I need to do as e-reader for one of my book clubs. It is actually painful. I'll get there. I've got 2.5 days to finish 250 pages. Well, I digress. The real question here is what to take. And, luggage being what it is on planes, you're only allowed, a feather and some Scotch tape to take on with you the plane. So, also, I'm traveling at ridiculous times. I think the first flight to Toronto is 7 in the morning, and so that means getting up at 4 in the morning. So will I read or will I conk out? And the way back is even nuttier. I fly out of Toronto at 10:30 and I get back into Halifax at 2 in the morning. I think that's the milk run. I think we have to stop in Ottawa and Montreal and possibly journey to Iqaluit. I don't know, but it's just a crazy flight. So how much reading am I going to get done? Plus, I'm in the hospital with my mom, and yeah, it just doesn't seem, my family is not a reading kind of a family. I don't know, how many pages do I need? So if I base it on what I would do, here at the house, I would take these 3 books and just be a little bit worried, but considering what I think to be probably a realistic expectation, I should take 1 book and maybe buy something. Is there a bookstore around there? I know there's a Value Village that has used books, but I hate buying a book that I don't, it's not on my buy it list, which only at the moment consists of 3 books. I hate buying a book that's just, it's not a waste of money because I enjoy the book, but it's sort of a waste of book budget. There we go, book budget. My book budget gets skewed. So anyhow, I have Sally on the Rocks by Winnifred Boggs, which Cheryl and I are reading and going to bring to you as another one of our little book chats. I have Thomas King, Sufferance, which has been on my most anticipated new releases for almost 18 months. I love Thomas King. What is taking me so long? I don't know. But also, I have a feeling this is a fast read. It looks to me that I could get through this in a weekend easily. So that I think it might be too light. And then this one, The Illuminator, is a novel by Brenda, Rickman, Vantrease, and it is taking place in the Middle Ages, in the 14th century, and a girlfriend loaned this to me, and I'm feeling bad that I haven't returned it, although I think she's probably pretty forgiving about it. It's pretty dense, and My concern on this one is, what if I don't like it? Then I've got this big heavy book that I don't like. It's like some people don't want to travel because they're afraid of planes or they're afraid of getting stuff, COVID and stuff. I don't want to travel because I want all my books. So that's my dilemma. I don't know how you choose your travel books. I'm sure it's a lot less neurotic. So that's it for me. I hope all your reading dreams and adventures continue to come true. And I will see you hopefully next week. Bye-bye for now.